My proposal is to cure aging.
I'm interested in keeping information accessible and free for people.
My current project is to build an open-source electrospray mass spectrometer.
To make learning games for young children between the ages of 7 and 13.
Rotating a solar panel so that it can optimize the amount of electricity.
Advanced mobility aid that will allow disabled users to go essentially anywhere that an able-bodied human can.
Make it easier for everyday people who like music to go to more live events.
Bioethanol is the energy of the future for under 25 cents a gallon from waste products of cellulose.
Our goal is to make solar energy cheaper than coal without government subsidies.
My project is on an electric motor for electric vehicles.
I'm applying to pursue asteroid mining.
For the past 200 years, there's been a steady rate of tech innovation in all kinds of fields, and that innovation has driven remarkable economic growth. Back in the 50s, people thought we'd have flying cars, robot maids, energy very cheap, too cheap to meter. Not only has that stuff not arrived, people have stopped even dreaming about it. People have given up on the future.
I'm honored to introduce the person who brought us all together, the person who successfully navigated a tech startup through the bursting of the tech bubble, who also warned the world about the housing bubble and the education bubble.
There's no right time or wrong time to be an entrepreneur. The time is when people find something they're incredibly passionate about, and that's when they should start and do it. We have nothing against education. We think education is a good thing. We think great education tends to always have an autodidactic component. You know, this is like the landing on the moon. Small step for each of you, a great step for humanity. Thank you very much for being here.
I've been working on a final prototype for my solar panel tracking system. I brought electricity to a village that hadn't had electricity before. Going into that village in Kenya and changing someone's world, that's how I'm going to change the world.
Everybody in this room is going to die of the same disease. That disease is called aging, and right now we don't have a cure for it. I've been working in high-profile anti-aging labs since I was 12, and the basic science to cure aging exists.
Anyone that's proposing that we're going to throw away all of these coal and natural gas plants, $10 trillion of infrastructure, I think is crazy. So instead of changing the infrastructure, we want to change the input fuel and use the sun to power and retrofit existing infrastructure and fully solve the energy crisis. Thank you.
Peter Thiel, Luke Nozick, Jim O'Neill, and I were flying back from New York and thinking about how there's not as much innovation going on.
Reflecting on why there wasn't enough progress in the US and our society and how we could accelerate it.
We focused on the problem. What is preventing lots of visionary people from going into technology? And the answer we agreed on was student debt.
It came together on that plane, and very shortly afterwards we decided that we needed about 20 people, decided the dollar amount, and then we started looking.
Peter has a rather exciting announcement to make here at Disrupt.
Well, we've been offering grants of up to $100,000 to up to 20 people under age 20 for starting something new.
For dropping out of school.
Stopping out of school.
This is every parent's worst nightmare. You're offering kids money to leave school and start a company.
We expected fear from parents and horror from colleges. We're telling professors and administrators that people don't have to buy their product, that they do have a choice.
I guess you could call it criticism. It was more just sort of stream of consciousness. Jacob Weisberg with Slate.
Well, actually, my mom was the one that found out about it through a friend, and she was very vague about what the competition was called or what it was. She just told me, I heard about this competition and I'm not going to tell you what it's called. They actually ended up being pretty supportive, and they're starting to like the idea more.
It took 2 quarters for my parents to let me take 1 quarter off from Stanford, and so they're not jazzed about the idea of me sort of chasing this dream of mine. So as like an initial thing, the foundation helps me convince them that this is a good idea.
What's the biggest market in the music industry that currently no one is doing?
At the moment, there's not much of a connection between the artist and the fan after the actual show. And that's something we'd like to do.
Now, by having those motors incorporated to the track, college really puts me down a linear path of thinking versus learning from experience through something like the Thiel Fellowship. I could learn faster and more effectively, something that really can't be matched.
What I'm trying to do is trying to bring the open source software revolution to open hardware. I immigrated here from Russia when I was about 4 or 5. We've had a lot of ups and downs financially and with immigration. So this will really give me security for 2 years and really let me go into my passion, fund my passion, and develop something that is a game changer, not only in the US, but the rest of the world.
I think the value of, running with an idea while it's hot and while it hasn't been used yet far outweighs the benefits of that college degree right now.
I'm hoping to be able to do something that I've long dreamed of doing, but never really believed was possible.
This potentially is A, taking people into space for the long term, and B, preventing the extinction of all life on the planet. And if I can contribute even marginally to either of those, I'll be satisfied.
It's easy to forget it if you live in an ivory tower, but people around the world still face major problems: death, disease, war, poverty, energy. And there are also great solutions that are sitting around in people's heads in daydreams.
The long-term hope is for us to replicate this every year for the decades ahead, and for this to become a template for a new way to think about the future.